people not only in Niger State, but also.
Still a chance for Ian Robin. It's
let him shoot, let him shoot. No problem.
Good day. Welcome to the Gallery TV News Updates at all. I am Oluwatomi Oberade. The news headlines. Police release preliminary findings on OWO attack. Recover unexploded improvised explosive devices. 3,135 candidates with IETM scores denied admission, says JAM. Ikeazu gives quit notice to Elders and others in Abia Forest. On business news, crude oil exports jumped by 194%, hit 5 trillion 6 billion naira in 3 months. On sports, OWO Amusan arrive in Mauritius for the African Athletics Championships. On entertainment, Femi Kuti receives golden saxophone for 60th birthday. And on foreign news, Britain sentenced to 15 years in Iraq antiquities case. Now the news in details. Police released preliminary findings on OWO attack. Recover unexploded improvised explosive devices. The police high command on Monday made public the preliminary findings on a brutal murder of innocent Nigerians by gunmen in an attack on St. Francis Catholic Church, Owalua in Owo, Ondo State on Sunday, during which several lives were lost and several others sustained various degrees of injuries. This was contained in a statement made available to newsmen in Abuja by the first Public Relations Officer, FPRO, CSP Olumiwa Adejobi. According to the statement, the gunmen from preliminary investigations invaded the court with arms and materials suspected to be explosives. Police investigators who were part of the first responders deployed to the scene have recovered pellets of unexpended AK-47 ammunition, while the explosive ordnance devices, chemical, biological, radiological, and nuclear explosives EODCBRNE units confirmed the use of explosives as fragments of the IED used were found, and after thorough sweeping of the scene, 3 unexploded IEDs were recovered at the scene of the incident. It added that further investigations revealed that some of the gunmen disguised as congregants, while other armed men who had positioned themselves around the court premises from different GP Usman Al-Khali Baba has ordered full-scale investigations into the incident in order to bring to book the perpetrators of the gruesome killing of the worshippers at the church. 3,135 candidates with IUTM scores denied admission, says JAM. A total of 3,135 unified tertiary matriculation examination and direct entry examinations candidates who scored 300 and above in 2018, 2019, and 2020 did not gain admission into tertiary institutions. The figure is based on the admission statistics prepared by the Joint Admissions and Matriculation Board for the 3 years. The statistics for 2018, 2019, and 2020 were made available on the board's website. The board is still working on the 2021 statistics following the conclusion of the 2021 admissions. It reports that while tertiary institutions are at liberty to determine their respective cut-off marks for admission, there is widely held belief that candidates who score higher marks have advantages over those who have poor UTME scores. In 2018, JAM noted that though a total of 4,683 candidates scored 300 and above, only 3,683 gained admission, while 1,000 candidates were unable to gain admission. In 2019, a total of 2,967 candidates scored 300 and above, while 2,288 candidates got admission, 679 were denied admission. In 2020, a total of 4,948 students scored 300 and above, while 3,492 candidates were admitted. 1,456 were denied admission. The JAMB registrar, Professor Isaac Oleyede, on the website of the board listed wrong O-level subject combination, low post-UTME screening score, non-acceptance of admission offer, duplication of application, absence from post-UTME screening, and mismatch of catchments as some of the reasons from some candidates who scored over 300 marks did not get admission. Meanwhile, a statement from the board head of Public Affairs and Protocol, Dr. Fabian Benjamin, on Monday directed all candidates who registered for the UTME and direct entry but had yet to link their email addresses with their profile to visit any JAMB-approved computer-based test center. IPEAZU gives quick notice to headers and others in Abia Forest. Abia State Governor Okezie IPEAZU has directed headers and those living inside bushes and forests around Umenechi, local government area of the state, to quit with immediate effect. The directive followed the outcome of the meeting the governor had with stakeholders of the local government over the incessant kidnapping and killings of residents by suspected gunmen. IPEAZU directed the Commissioner of Police CP in the state, Janet Agbede, to join hands with youth in the local government to provide immediate security on the Ube-Usochi road stretched from Ugodu through Lumora Junction all the way to Ube. The governor told the council chair, Ifeanyi Madu, to open the road from Ube through Lumora Junction to Ugodu-Usochi. Governor Okezie Victor IPEAZU urges all parties to show restraint and circumspection in their utterances and actions in order to maintain the peace and promote peaceful coexistence of all law-abiding citizens. On business news, crude oil exports jumped by 194%, hit 5 trillion 6 billion naira in 3 months. Amid increasing calls for diversification of the economy, Nigeria's crude oil exports jumped to 5 trillion 6 billion naira in the first quarter of 2022, reflecting nearly 200% increase when compared to the same period in 2021. The figures contained in the foreign trade report of the National Bureau of Statistics said Nigeria's total merchandise trade stood at 13 trillion naira in the first quarter of 2022, indicating an increase of 11.05% over the value recorded in the first quarter of 2021 and 65.4% higher when compared to the value recorded in the first quarter of 2021. The export trade in the quarter under review stood at 7 trillion 1 billion naira, showing a rise of 23.1% over the value recorded in the preceding quarter, and also an increase of 137.9% over the corresponding period of the preceding year. On the other hand, total imports were valued at 5 trillion and 90 billion naira, indicating a decrease of 0.7% over the value recorded in the preceding quarter. According to the report, the value of exports trade in the first quarter of 2022 was dominated by crude oil exports valued at 5 trillion 6 billion naira, which accounted for 79.16% of total exports, while non-crude oil exports values stood at 9 trillion 4 billion naira, or 20.84% of the total exports, of which non-products contributed 715 billion 19 million naira, representing 10.07% of total exports. The latest figures by the NBS show a 194% increase in Nigeria's crude oil exports when compared to the first quarter of 2021, which is 1 trillion 9 billion naira. Now on sports. Ekevo Amusan arrived in Mauritius for the African Athletics Championships. Reigning African Games 100-meter and 100-meter hurdles champions Raymond Ekevo and Tobiloba Amusan have arrived in Mauritius for the 22nd African Athletics Championship AAC starting tomorrow. Both athletes arrived Saturday after competing at the Arena's Zimwiska Memorial, a World Athletics Continental Gold Tour meet in Poland. OWO will be hoping to add the African Championship title to the African Games gold it won 3 years ago in Morocco, thereby returning Nigeria to the top of the podium 12 long years after Olusoji Fasuba won in Addis Ababa, Ethiopia. The 23-year-old who ran 9.96 seconds to win the African Games gold in 2019 will also be hoping to run faster and break compatriot Seun Ogunkoya's 9.94 seconds championship record set in Dakar, Senegal in 1998. Amusan on a path will be looking to successfully defend the title she won 4 years ago at the 21st edition of the championship in Asaba. Meanwhile, the home-based contingents were expected to depart Nigeria for Mauritius last night. The championship is serving as preparations for both next month's World Athletics Championships in Oregon, USA, as well as the Commonwealth Games in Birmingham. Nigerian placed third on the medal table at the 21st edition with 9 gold, 5 silver, 6 bronze, and 6 bronze medals, behind Kenya with 11 gold, 6 silver, and 2 medals, and South Africa with 9 gold, 14 silvers, and 8 bronze medals. On entertainment, Femi Kuti receives golden saxophone for 60th birthday. It was a thrilling night at the New African Shrine in Ikeja, Lagos, when Afrobeat musician Femi Kuti and his son Made performed together on Sunday, June 5, 2022. A highlight was when Femi's sister Yeni, on behalf of the Kuti family, presented the singer with a birthday cake and a golden Sema saxophone, which is said to be one of the most expensive saxophones in the world, as a birthday gift. The singer will turn 60 on June 16, 2022. Yeni also pleaded with her brother to retire his old saxophone, which she said he had been using for 23 years. Lastly, on foreign news, Britain sentenced to 15 years in Iraq antiquities case. An Iraqi court on Monday sentenced a British retiree to 15 years in prison for trying to smuggle antiquities out of the country, but acquitted his German co-accused. The maximum penalty for the offense is death by hanging, but the court decided on a lesser sentence for James Fitton, 66, because of his advanced age of the accused. The court found insufficient evidence to convict co-accused Volker Waldman, 60, who was visiting Iraq with Fitton on an organized tour when they were arrested in March at Baghdad airport. Fitton's lawyer said he would appeal the sentence. When the judge asked the men dressed in yellow prisoners' clothes whether they were guilty or not of trafficking antiquities, each replied not guilty. They were charged under its 2002 law against intentionally taking or trying to take out of Iraq an antiquity. According to statements from customs officer and witnesses, Fitton's baggage contained about a dozen stone fragments, pieces of pottery or ceramics. Waldman allegedly had 2 pieces, but the trials opening on May 15th denied they were his. When the judge asked Fitton why he tried to take the artifacts out of Iraq, he cited his hobby and said he did not mean to do anything illegal. The trial comes at a time the war-ravaged country whose tourism infrastructure is almost non-existent. Iraq has also been trying to recover antiquities that were looted over a period of decades from the country whose civilization dates back thousands of years. That is it on the news update at 12. I am Oluwatomi Oberdi. For more, stay tuned on our website at www.dgallerytv.com. Do enjoy the rest of your day.
Life of people not only in Niger State, but also
Still a chance for Ryan Robin. It's
Let them shoot, let them shoot. No problem.
Fever in Taraba due to lack of specific dialysis machine.
Proposed by the federal government to finance deficit in the 2021 budget by approved